You got a funny guy coming up. Dan Fritche, everybody.
Yeah!
Keep clapping, goddammit.
Yeah!
Let's go, folks!
Yeah!
Yeah. Tell you folks a little bit about myself. I'm 36 years old. I recently showed my first sign of aging when I nearly punched a guy for bragging about being 23.
Yeah!
I didn't hit him, I just called him a young punk and went home and took a nap. Decided that smartass wasn't worth the effort. 36 is a weird age. I know it's not old, I'm just saying it's a weird age. Because I realize now that I'm young enough to not know what life still has in store for me. But I'm old enough to know exactly where things went horribly wrong in my life. Like, I can narrow it down to the minute. It was April 22nd, 1997, 7:32 p.m. That is the moment that I received my degree in fine arts.
Woo!
That's where I screwed up. And here's a piece of advice, folks. If you're going to go to college, don't pick one whose application process involves drawing a turtle. Remember those late night commercials? Like, do you like to draw or paint? Or maybe just sketch or doodle? Then call our 1-800 number. And you're thinking to yourself, what kind of idiot would call that number? Cheers. The last thing I did with my art degree was use it to separate the seeds from my marijuana. That was the last thing I did.
Yeah!
And that just shows how old I am. You young people, marijuana used to have seeds in it. I even quit smoking pot for the longest time because I was trying to find a job. I want to be able to pass a drug test without having to cram the night before. Really, I can't be the only person in here who's had to pull an all-nighter with a gallon of water here, people. Come on.
Yeah!
Trying to find a job as an art teacher, and apparently it helps, showing up for the interview not smelling like an art teacher. You can't go around campus reeking of high-grade weed until you have tenure. I love that joke because I love watching the crowd see how many of you pull out your phones to Google the word tenure. Got at least one. Even gave up drinking for like a year and a half. That was fun. I've since catapulted off of that wagon. Hey, cheers. Tonight I'm drinking scotch. It's a very sophisticated drink. It says, I want to get fucked up, but I still want to have standards. I quit drinking, not because I was a serious alcoholic or anything like that. It's just that, well, one weekend I went on a pretty serious bender and found out later I may have caused a little bit of an accident.
Woo!
Baby girl, 6 pounds, 9 ounces. Yeah, that'll sober your ass up pretty quick. Although the way I looked at it at the time is, if you're going to have a permanent souvenir of a drunken one-night stand, a baby really is the one you want to have. Like, I'll take diaper rash over canker sores any day of the week. But I was real excited about it. I was going to be a dad, and then a few months later we got the DNA test back, and it was like, wow, negative, huh? Well, this is a hell of a dress rehearsal for when I finally get my shit together. The Lord works in mysterious ways.
Woo!
Just never thought he'd choose Maury Povich as his messenger. But I wanted to stay a part of the baby's life, and unfortunately I couldn't, just because the mother was completely insane. And I'm not exaggerating. She was diagnosed paranoid delusional schizophrenic with antisocial personality disorder. So, yay! I slept with a sociopath. Top that, motherfucker. That means for the rest of my life, whenever some guy says, oh man, my ex-girlfriend was crazy, I get to look him dead in the eye and go, fucking really? I bet your ex-girlfriend never sent you a homemade Valentine's Day card in October. Had a lock of her hair attached to it. Not from her head. Yeah, so needless to say, I now have a new dating policy. Before I hook up with any woman, I'm checking her fucking medicine cabinet first. I'm looking for anything with a Z or an X in it. Prozac, Xanax, Zoloft, Zantac. I know that last one's for heartburn, but you really can't be too careful these days. And meds aren't exactly a deal breaker for me. You know, everybody deserves to get help. That's why you check the dosage. There's a world of difference between use only as needed and there's a court order attached to this. You want to explain this shit? So yeah, I am drinking again. That's what I love about doing stand-up comedy. I'm not only allowed to drink on the job, I'm encouraged. It's great. And so with that spirit in mind, I had these printed up. They're the official world's drunkest employee coffee mugs. They're perfect for board meetings and performance evaluations, exit interviews. They kick ass on drug testing day, I can tell you that for sure. Like, you're sure as hell not going to find any pot, asshole. I got like tons of them out in my car. If you're interested, come see me. I'll leave you guys with. Recently got a huge honor. One of my best friends asked me to be his best man at his wedding next month, or actually in March. I'm real excited about him. I'm also very anxious because the last time I was best man at a wedding, it didn't work out too well. Everything leading up to the ceremony went great. It was just everything in the ceremony went great. Everything leading up to it was an absolute nightmare. Like, the main responsibility of the best man is to play in The Bachelor. And I knew I was in trouble when my buddy Scott told me that, yo, dude, I quit drinking and I promised I wouldn't go to a strip club. And I'm like, dude, you just took away the two things that make it a bachelor party. You know, this is like ordering a pizza with no crust or sauce. It's just a pile of cheese at this point. I mean, what the hell, dude? What I understand is, you know, not wanting to go to strip clubs. I was actually happy that we weren't going to strip clubs because I've never had fun at strip clubs. I've never understood the concept of it. It's like, why would I give good money to just see a woman topless? You know, it's just like when I could go to any bar and find a woman with equally low self-esteem. Throw a few drinks down her throat and hopefully I'll get to second base. I mean, come on. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. Never been a fan of strip clubs. I think it all stems from like the first time I ever went to a strip club. I was 19 years old and I was in New Orleans on Bourbon Street on Christmas night. And you hear about all the parties going on Bourbon Street, but this is Christmas night. I mean, even the bums were off the streets by 10:30. It was like I Am Legend with Mardi Gras beads. It was fucked up. Every place was just desperate for business. They were just waving me in, not wanting to charge a cover or anything like that. And I'm just going, wait. I'm not going to walk in just any place here, okay? I'm going to try to find someplace classy. Which just shows how naive I was at 19, man. I'm trying to find a classy joint on Bourbon Street. It's like trying to find a library in Alabama. Well, you're destined to find one, but is it really going to be worth the effort? I doubt it. So I go into this one place, just because the sign out front said topless and bottomless. I was thinking, how could I lose? Yeah. I walked in and it looked like they were reenacting the shower scene from Schindler's List. It was horrible. It was just an ocean of track marks and C-section scars as far as the eye could see. I didn't want to tip them. I wanted to feed them and nurse them back to health. It was horrible. I've never seen a stripper do a pole dance to that Sarah McLachlan song they use on those abused animal commercials. Like, in the arms of me. And that's not even the worst part. The worst part was, I felt a hand on my shoulder. I didn't want to look, but I did. And what was standing next to me? Beetlejuice's mom in a glitter bra. I was like, ah! The hell? She's looking up at me and she's smiling. She's missing her forefront teeth. I'm going like, oh. For you bowlers out there, that means she was walking, talking 7-10 split. It was just, oh, it's horrifying. She looks up at me, she's going, "You want to go back to the champagne room?" Like, I want to get the fuck out of here. I'll get my coat. I meant alone. Slow your roll there, Smeagol. I had wanted to go back to that place just to see if they still have that knee-shaped hole in the wall. Just